America, there's a company called Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And it's their banter says
Dunkin'.
America runs on Dunkin'.
So
America runs on coffee.
Fat runs on WhatsApp.
It's like America runs on coffee.
I've been I post on this filling group. Yeah. It's the Telfi group.
Yeah.
There's now 7,000. So I was with the head guy of the whole thing on Leil Shabbos.
Right.
I don't know if you saw me jumping over your fence like with a stromal. I was like going, oh, did your wife see?
No, I didn't see.
No one saw a chassid.
Was there music playing?
No, just in Leil Shabbos, I was jumping like as I was walking past one way and the other way. And all my family was so embarrassing. They're going to think some crazy chassid standing outside. So then Ari Turks was like, no, it's a raccoon jumping around along the wall or something. Because you see my stromal like just above the wall, and I'm like making funny hand signals.
So funny.
But no one saw. That's so funny. Anyway, I said to my parents, I don't think anyone saw because they would have waved back or something. But anyway, so when I was there, so I said to the Telfi guy, like he's got the 7,000 people, I said, look, I really enjoy your groups, and some of my old students even they're putting tefillin on now, and some of them probably wouldn't, like guys with tattoos and all earrings and the whole thing, and they're putting tefillin on every day and even saying nice quotes. He says, I want to let you know something. He says, you're the only guy, almost, I think he said pretty much, I am the only person. He leaves my post, he deletes everyone else's, who puts a link. Every day I put a link up of something we've learned or some chizuk and Torah, and he says everybody else I delete. I literally spend like a long time every day deleting all the link people.
Right.
You're the only one I leave because I trust you that it's like something inspirational. I said he asked me, he said, now I want to know what utilization have you got from it. So I said, one, more people are listening to our stuff, what we're learning. So shout out to everyone. Two, people are giving me feedback and really nice feedback.
Wow.
I said, three, I've got no business from it. And he said, I'm happy about that. Because then it's L'Shem Shamayim. It's just a machazik. That's it.
Wow, beautiful.
So he was happy with that. And I think he'll keep leaving it like the status quo that he's allowed me to post a link on the Telfi group. But sorry guys that you aren't allowed. But for some reason he's made an exception. Maybe he has Rahmanas to me. I don't know. But Baruch Hashem. So we got to a very important point of Perek. Chapter 13. I like to mix it up. So we're gonna see in the summary. Remember we do the summary.
Yeah.
That we've been learning about the inner struggle. That's been the avoda. So I'm just going to open up again the Tanya thing. Remember this summary is from Bnei Eliyahu. Yeah. Bnei-Eliyahu.com.
Print that out and then just keep it in my time.
Yeah, no, it's very helpful.
It's a lot of pages.
Yeah, so we got to the truth for love service of the Beinoni. That was the last thing we're learning. Truth is defined as something that always is. It was quite deep. We were learning about the Malachi Sharis and the Chayes HaKodesh. We were flying on the end of last week. As this heightened love of the Beinoni cannot be called true, because the Beinoni with the correct preparations can always access this state. It's referred as avoda tama, lamito. Truth is a relative term, it is the middle point. Okay, so we said that it's relative. I don't know, I totally agree with his summary on that point. We said that it's all dependent on your level, where you're holding. There is the ultimate truth. There's Emes Amito, we mentioned Rabbi Nachman and Rabbi Moshe Weinberger, but then there's the truth of where you're at and where the other person, and each neshama has his relative level. And we said it's the kaveh emtsoi, it's the middle point. That's why we mentioned the Chayes HaKodesh. Okay, striving to be a Beinoni. This is the next chapter, 14. The level that everyone has access to. Yeah, this is everybody here has access. Yeah, it's called Tanya summary. So if you just want to look for it,
I think you sent it to me from your other account.
Yeah, but you just write on WhatsApp Tanya summary and the general, and it should come up. Tanya summary. Oh, that's because there it is. You got it. So just save it or something so you don't lose it. So the midas of the Beinoni are accessible to every Jew. Does not despise Ra, but behaves perfectly. Yeah, that everyone has access to being a Beinoni. It's because most people do not despise Ra. Let's be honest. Yeah, we've mentioned this a bunch of times. We don't hate evil with a tachlis asina. Especially nowadays, it's become like sort of, they call them the haters, but the haters in Kedusha of a Tzaddik is actually a good thing. But here, Beinoni, everyone can access, because everyone can get to that level where they honestly don't hate evil like with all their kishkas, but they do want to serve Hashem and not speak lashon hara and not have naughty thoughts and not do naughty things. Yeah, sorry to use silly language, but I'm just trying to make it real. He distracts himself from the selfish voice within by asserting his commitment to the truth. That's another one important one, like committing yourself to truth. We sort of touched on that last week about the aspect of MS, but the commitment to being truthful with yourself, being an emistic person, which means you recognize Hashem's there all the time in your life. That's halach and shulchan aruch, and we realize that we have to be honest with that reality. So we can't just do what we want. The level of tzaddik is a gift from above, and this is why we made the second row vow not to be a rasha. So we were going all the way back to the first line of the Tanya, mashpia moso. That you took on a vow before you came into this world to not be a rasha. So we have that bas kol coming out every day, reminding us not to be a rasha. Then we actually vowed to not be a rasha, so that influences. One of the translations of mashpia moso is mashpia moso.
Right.
It should mashpia, like had the mind bug was called the mashpia. It should mashpia you by being connected to him, or mashpia you that you're connected to this vow you made to not be a rasha, to be a tzaddik.
Mashpia.
Correct behavior is always available to all of us. Yeah. So this is Rav Shmuel Diamond's explanation. Striving for sidkus. The Beinoni should set aside time to develop a distaste for ra and a pleasure in ruchnius. Even if his displaced pleasure is imaginary, if the Beinoni uses it to avoid doing averis and for mitzvahs, it is called a complete service. Avodah Tama. We're going to keep coming up to this concept of Avodah Tama. So I think we can go back now into the text of the actual Tanya and start chapter 14. Exciting, new week, new sefer in the Torah, Vayikra, and preparing for Purim. Just a week away. Today we'll be reading. A week from today we'll be reading Megillah right now in Shul.
Megillah came out this year this way.
Yes, interesting. Yeah, Tanya says a Thursday.
Why is it on Friday, Tanya sister?
Because we don't fast on a Friday. The only fast we do on a Friday is Asar B'Tevis.
Okay.
It's very extreme fast, Asar B'Tevis. It's the only one that's Dokeh of Shabbos.
So I'm actually going to be flying on the fast. I didn't even realize.
Oh, wow.
I booked a flight. I'm going tomorrow morning to New York.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be on the plane. I didn't even realize that.
Tomorrow morning, when are you leaving?
My flight is at 8:30 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be leaving Efrata probably on 5 a.m.-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I just booked.
And then you're returning back Tanya sister.
Wednesday night, yeah.
So
when I land, the fast will be over.
Thursday night.
No, say Thursday night, yeah. My flight's I'm leaving Wednesday night in New York, so then you get Thursday afternoon, late afternoon, 5, 6 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's hard to fast on a plane. I've asked Shilas about that, and they said you can drink maybe, or because it gets difficult to travel fasting. Halfway through, maybe from Chatzos, whatever, work out what that is. Ask a rabbi. You don't. Yeah, you have different. You're holding on a different thing, but yeah, I've traveled on a fast day. What fast day was it when I traveled last time? It was.
Travel on Tisha B'Av.
Shvayse B'Tammuz I traveled, and there was a whole question of if I should keep the fast. So I tried as long as I could. I did all the davenings. I did everything I could. But remember, England was a few hours behind. So by the time I was landing, it was the other way around. I was landing on a fast day in England, so I was adding on more time.
Oh.
So by that point, by the end of the night as well, I had a psak that I could start breaking the fast because I'd pretty much done the time. I didn't have to add on now.
Right.
And everyone, each according to their situation. My cheshbon was I was teaching that night. And they were serving the food around the time the fast had ended in Eretz Yisrael. And I didn't want to turn up to teach and see all my family like a shmata. Ask Kiddush Hashem, I just didn't. So I got psak, I was allowed in that situation. But yeah, B'di Evid, obviously these are all personal things once again. This is the amazing thing with MS, that it does apply each to us in our own reality.
Right.
And if we start putting our MS onto others, that's also not correct. The Hashem is big enough, and the Torah is big enough, and the Rabbonim are big enough to guide us each according to our reality. Just like we have hinuch, each child according to his situation, so too with Hashem Yisbach, with our hinuch, with our own personal hinuch, and our YITZCHAK, Chelik Torah. It just helps us. We don't have to feel like there's something wrong with us if we're different.
Right.
Because that's the beauty of truth, that it fits us in. And there's the ultimate truth, and then there's the personal truth. And we're seeing from Tanya that it's okay. The rank of Beinoni is one that is attained by every man. That's what we're holding now. He midis a Beinoni, he midis kol adam, v'achar kol adam, yishach kol adam yochel yos Beinoni. B'chol eitz, b'chol shah, ki ha-Beinoni ein emuas barar. As we said, doesn't hate evil completely. Zeh dava ha-mos al-alev. Lo kol itim shovis. Ela sumei rav asitov. We're reading a lot, so let's just translate now. The rank of Beinoni is one that attained by every man. Each person should strive after it. So we're all striving after being Beinonim. That's the safer, learning the intermediate man, the in-betweener. We're trying to become a Beinoni. Yeah, but Mr. Hashem, we're not going to be learning again till after Purim, or maybe Friday, probably not. We'll see. But the idea that we should have the ability to strive after being a Beinoni, all of us, wherever we are, here, America, wherever it is. Every person can at any time of hour be an intermediate person or in-betweener, because the in-betweener, man, does not revile evil. So you're going to sit on the plane and you're going to be honest. You're not going to be sitting there like hating every movie there is. I don't know what you're into, but say June 2, I'd have a YITZCHAK to watch that, even though it's probably better on the cinemas. You're not even into it. So
I only watch Seinfeld.
Right, Seinfeld, whatever it is. Everyone's got their thing, yeah? Let's be honest. Yeah, that is a feeling entrusted to the heart. Not all times are alike. Prayer time, for instance, is more propitious, as mentioned. So remember, we said by prayer time you get more of a aliyah, more of a devekus to your nefesh alakis. So you're holding in a more ruchnius state when you're davening, and when you're not davening, sitting on a plane, you got like them sticking food in front of your head, and there's a screen in front of your head. It's like, and all around you, all kinds of things going on, and you're tired. So in that state, likely the nefesh bahamis is going to start kicking in, unless you're one of these people, like some people, like Eliezer always says, he always uses it to chaz his daf yomi, It's really
like that.
Yeah, it's a good time to learn.
I just have a hard time when I'm not learning. I just always feel like I need to do that.
So it's a good time, really, ideally, to learn. Mr. Hashem.
Hashem.
Hashem definitely wants us learning more than watching Nourished. But anyway, that is feeling entrusted to the heart. Not all times are alike. His task is only to turn away from evil and do good. You hear that? This is a big cloud. Sumei ra v'asei tov. I heard from the Tanya, not in Tanya, but in Torah Or. I once learned with a Rav, and he said that Sumei ra is like billionim times more powerful than any asei tov in this generation.
Wow. So
the koyach of just refraining from not looking at things you shouldn't, and not thinking things you shouldn't, and just getting away from, treif things or whatever it is. There's such a powerful nachas ruach to Hashem in this generation when there's so much ribu ra, there's so much exposure, that it's tremendous koyach of our generation, from all the generations before us, to makayim these mitzvahs. We get such koyach and such nachas ruach more than all the doros before, because it's never been so tested. So in a huge way, that Sumei ra is very powerful nowadays. And Chabad Shita generally the Shita of Hasidus is Asei Tov. Is the focus on doing good.
Yeah.
In actual practice, the Hainu B'Pal Mamish, indeed.
Yeah.
In speech, remember, Beinoni's doing it on all levels. Ma'isa, Diba, Machshava, how you act as a Yid, how you speak as a Yid, how you think as a Yid. Shebehem abachira v'yacholes harishus nesana l'kol adam, and he made think that in contrary to the desire of his heart and diametrically opposed to it. It says in number 3, note that 4 also includes the ability of self-control. What does he say there? This last part, I didn't really understand it.
Opposed to the matters of every man is given the choice, ability, and freedom. Also, as a dover, Achshav gam Masha hu neged ha'os liboy v'hapchalamash. Right?
Okay. Hashav gam Masha hu neged taivas liboy v'hapcha mamesh. To turn it around, mamesh.
His hafchos.
Yes, this is what with Purim is the whole time of that.
Speak and think even that which is contrary to the desire of his heart, diametrically opposed to it.
Pesha shalev chomed.
Craves.
He was craving for things. I don't know what your craves are, but everyone has them. Everyone according to each person. Yeah.
Whether permitted
or be'isa chas v'shalom. Yochol is Gabe. Siach Data. Yeah, so that's generally another nakuda we've mentioned before already, that the shita of Chabad, of Baal Tanya, is siach dat, is to remove your mind from it. Don't fight with it, don't elevate it, remove your mind from it. Distract yourself from it, go do something positive, go put tefillin on someone or something.
Right.
You get starting to feel funky, go do something. I mean, it does make a lot of sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because start trying to get deeper into the thought to try to find the positive part is quite a risky avoda. Like the Beinoni brings it down as a derech of avoda in Chassidus.
Right.
That you can elevate your thoughts that are not good, but the Baal Tanya's advice is not like the Chernobyl Rebbe. The Baal Tanya's advice was...
What was the Chernobyl's Rebbe?
All the way back from Beinoni's original Chernobyl Rebbe.
Okay. I'm saying, what was his advice to do again?
To elevate the thought. So, say for example, he gives some actual real examples of this kind of experience. You're having thoughts of fear. Yeah, you're fearing stuff.
Right.
Going on a plane, you've heard about the DI, what's it called? The diversity, DAI, or whatever it is. So now they're allowing the dumbest people to fly planes. Yeah, United or certain airlines. Yeah. So now the guy doesn't have full training. I don't know if this is actually applicable.
I only fly allow.
Okay, good. But say that in America they've come up with all this diversity nonsense. So now they're allowing people that aren't even highly qualified to do highly, high skill tasks, because for the sake of diversity, that's more important. Like all the movies as well, and highly diverse, even if they're the worst actors. Yeah. So there's a lot of that nonsense going on until Masha comes or people start waking up and correcting this nonsense.
They just end up killing themselves.
Chas Shalom. But the idea is...
Not themselves.
Yeah, the reality, crashing a plane, Chas Shalom, or something. But the craziness is, with such a reality, so you are sitting on a plane now feeling a bit more nervous and scared about the reality.
Yeah.
But you still want to fly because you've got business and you want to be in Eretz Yisrael.
Right.
So you're going to do it anyway. So now you're having those thoughts of fear.
Right, now I'm starting to feel afraid.
So, but what do? Those fearful thoughts, you now elevate them to what? To mifached work from Hashem. To only fear Hashem.
Okay.
Really, the shorish of all fears is that I fear Hashem's will, going over His will.
Okay.
And same with Ava. You have this taiva towards something physical, like a shmaka. The guy next to you is eating a bacon, whatever.
Yum.
And you're starting to think, really, I could just, no one's around here, so Jewish.
Sneak a bite of his sandwich.
I'm not in Adar right now, I'm on the other flight, and I can just sneak a little bit. The guy doesn't need, he said he got an extra one. He said, you want it?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't know about your Jewish stuff.
Bacon, egg?
Yeah. So you're like, finally I can try this Zachin, yeah? If you hadn't, I grew up, unfortunately, eating this kind of stuff, but if you didn't grow up eating it, so you're like, wow, finally, no one will ever know. And Hashem's saying, so that's another fear thing. But you can also say it's also a taiva. So the taiva really is, no, I'm going to learn more Torah. I'm going to have Avos Torah, Avos Hashem, and you start to elevate the Avos. Whereas Baal Tanya, all these things, his answer would be, ignore it. Don't even think about it. Just carry on, go put tefillin on someone on the flight. Go learn another daf. Yeah, just don't think about it. Don't even get into it.
Right.
You see the different approach. They're both holy and they're both MS. I think the Baal Tanya is a bit more realistic for our generation because once we get caught up with fighting it, usually the
12-step programs. It says you call a friend.
Oh, that's like a third avenue, which is
Seems
actually
to be the most effective.
That actually is the derech of Kalin. Kalin are very into Simcha.
Oh, yeah?
The little Chassidus is very much into that, and they're very much into the Chabura.
Right.
The Chabura. So the Rebbe, the famous Masha from the Kalin Rebbe. Not the one now, but the previous ones, but it's a Masorah and Karlin, and they always talk about it and they live it, because I've been around Karlinas, I know them well. And they hold that more than the Rebbe can save a Yid, the Chabura, the Chassidus saves a Yid.
Right.
Because there was a Maisa where a guy was having an Nisyonis, there was some lady in the water and something was going on, and he had a test. And he first thing he thought, how can I do this to my wife? That didn't work. And he's thinking, how can I do this to my Rebbe? I'm on my way to my Rebbe. He'll see what I've done on my face.
Right.
Said, maybe I'll just lower my hat. He won't notice. I'll just eat a bit more herring on the side. He won't see.
Right.
And then he said, well, how will I face my friends? And that's when he held back. So you still koyach of a chabura, good friends. That's one of the reasons why I don't go to some of these hangouts that you just people get invited to. Because the importance of being around good people makes a big hashpah on you. Especially the Chassidus. So the Chassidim is in a way a bit of a powerful thing, and that the vote of the Kalinas, you say, well, I won't go to the Rebbe. So who's going to schlep you to the Rebbe? The Rebbe's not going to schlep you because he's too busy. Who's going to bring you back to the Rebbe?
Chaverim.
The Chaverim.
Right, like that famous story with the Choser Melublin.
Yeah.
You know that story? I think this is one of Weinberger's favorite stories. I don't know if it's his favorite, but I just heard it from him a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know that story?
No, I don't know.
Where the chassid comes to the choser before Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
Say, I'm just going really faster, and he goes to him, and the choser says, "Get out of here! Like I just don't want to see you. You gotta go home."
Yeah.
On his way back now, he stops at the inn because that's what they all do, and he's at the inn, and all his chassidim are coming to the inn, coming towards the choser. He's on his way back in the Kretschmer, right? Yeah. And they're all drinking and they're partying and they're all excited to see the Rebbe for Rosh Hashanah. And he's on his way back, and they're like, "No, Yankala, why are you so down?" He goes, "The choser sent me back." And they say, "Cannot be. It can't be. No way." And he goes, "No, he told me to go home." And he goes, and he saves up all his money to come. And he said, "It can't be. Come, let's have a l'chaim." At l'chaim, 2 l'chaim, 3. Before you know, he's shikker, and he goes, and his chaverim go climbing and schlep him back. They carry him on their shoulders back to the Rebbe, and they bring them back to the Rebbe, and finally he comes back to the Rebbe. He's like sober, and the Rebbe's like, "It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you." And he goes, "Rebbe, you saw me a couple days ago. You told me to get out of here." And he goes, "Of course." He goes, "When you came a few days ago, when you were here, I saw that the Malach HaMavis, you had already had a Gzar Din, that you were going to die right after Rosh Hashanah, and I wanted to send you home to be with your family." He's like, "But now the koyach of Chaverim," he's like, "what your friends were able to accomplish," he's like, "by bringing you here," he's like, "they were able to turn the whole gezerah around."
So that's a very important cloud chassidus, the chaburis. We mentioned that I think before as well here, learning Tanya, because it did come up. The idea of having connection to groups of chavra who help you. So that see different ways of getting away from the taivas of Alam Hazeh and things. Siach data memeno legamri, but amro liliba einu rotz Elios Russia. And this is where we're getting to the Beinoni Nakuda. I don't want to be a Russia.
I don't want to be a Russia.
He's able. He can still himself divert his attention from it altogether. Himself, I will not be wicked, even for a moment. I don't want to be a filu sha'achas. He ain't in a rotz Elios mavdu nifrad chas shalom Hashem Achad shum ofen. This is the panemius. Is because I will not be separated and parted, heaven forbid, from Hashem under any circumstance. Be mindful of the admission, because you're mindful of this admission. What's the admission? But before we get to admission, he says if you don't medark in the lashon, he doesn't make a deal out in the old school translation, but it says Hashem Achad, the oneness of Hashem. So if Hashem is Achad, be'emes, which we say every day, then why would you want to separate from that oneness? That's all there is. That's the truth of every day of life of creation. That's our whole avoda of Bechira, to constantly choose Hashem Achad. B'shum ofen, and it says in the pasuk, "V'neseichem mavdilim b'goymer." And it's a famous pasuk.
This is an actual
pasuk here in Azar.
Rachani wrote to the Davka, and this is actually a tefillah now that the Baal Tanya is giving us. No. This is
Yeah. He's going to say now, but just before we get there, it says you're next to the intro between you and who? And Hashem. The sin. Getting distracted and getting busy with Netflix binges takes you away from Hashem, from Hashem Achad. There was one thing recently I felt like on Netflix that was actually worth watching. Like when I was back in England, it was the World War II documentary, because it was so well put together. Maybe the sound over wasn't the best. The guy saying it, the narrative person, was a bit like Pasha, but the quality of the visuals was awesome. It was like your mamesh back there. It was because they coloured it, they brought it alive again, and it was amazing to the technology that we could experience what would happen during the World War in such a clear way. It was pelagic. I showed it to my father. He couldn't believe the quality of it. Anyway, like you're saying now, this is a tefillah. Only I want my soul. And it's true with tzaddikim, they always go off into tefillahs in the middle of drushes, because when they're writing something, even in Torah, because this is who they are. This is their nefesh, that they want to daven and constantly connect to Hashem. The ani rotzeh ledavka bo nafshi ruchi nishmasi masbushim b'shosh lavushay yisbarach shem ma'aseh diba machshava b'Hashem b'torasov b'mitzvasov Mahava Mustera Shabalibi Lashem, Kamo Lev Kalis Israel Shanikra Ovi Shemecha. Fili Kol Shabakam Yokal Moshe Nafshal Kaddish Hashem. Lo Hanochi Mimenu Bavadai Ela Shenichnas BORUCH Shtus. So before we carry on reading that whole thing about the Ruach Shtus, but let's read the tefillah and we'll translate it. My real desire is to unite my nefesh, ruach, and neshama with Hashem, for investing them in His blessed shalosh, levushim, the 3 commandments. What are those? Masha, diba, machshava, dedicated to Hashem, His Torah, and His mitzvahs by virtue of what? The love of Hashem. That's hidden in my heart. Remember, so we keep bringing this concept of ahava mysteris, this hidden heart. So this hidden part of the heart which is filled with love, as in the heart of all Yidden who are called lovers of Thy name. All Yidden are called Ovei Hashem. We are people who love Hashem. That's the panemius of Am Yisrael. Ovei Shemecha. We get that inheritance from Avraham, YITZCHAK, Yaakov. It's inside of every Yid to love Hashem's name.
Right.
Now, even this is when it gets chizik. Even the most unworthy among the worthless is capable. Shabbat is like the most gashmis carbon. You see these fat, bald-headed dudes, dressing in some place, and they're like, they're just about
meat boards.
Yeah, they can get into the car just about
charcuterie,
and it's just like all they're thinking about is money and next meal. These kind of guys, and you think, and they're Yidden. They get Yiddish neshamas. They could mashlim a minion. These guys, and they probably do. It's worth kabel sacrifice for the sanctity of Hashem. When it comes down to it, they will be most nefesh for Hashem. Even those fat boys, most nafshal kiddush Hashem. They'll be most nefesh for Hashem when it comes down to it. Give them 1 second. You've seen so many times like this,
right?
And all those guys down south, which were having nisyonis with the Hamas, Hashem Shemenu, well, right now they managed to get through that time period, but they've suddenly then the shamas have woken up,
right? Because
they suddenly were put into situations, so it's nefesh.
Right. Some of them for sure have woken up.
I was at
Yossi's, gone back to sleep.
I was at Yossi Sassoon's house, and he was telling us stories of some of them have mamesh woken up.
Yeah.
Because they have watched miracles take place with their own eyes. How could they not?
Right.
Oh, they're broken by what happened, but it awakened their neshama again. The breakingness of their whole ideal way of thinking of Shalom Achad and all this nonsense. They suddenly realize it's not true. These guys want to kill us. So they suddenly, well, what does that mean then? If I'm a Yid, why do they want to kill me just for being a Yid? So now I need to know what it means to be a Yid. That's what happened to me when I was secular and I was friends with a lot of non-Jewish people, like real rough crowd. When I got beaten up time and time again for being with these crowds, I started to realize, why am I a Jew? Why are my best friends?
Right.
Because B'derech HaTeva, I was in a non-Jewish school where I was like literally surrounded by 99% non-Jewish.
Right.
How did I end up, all my best friends, all my crew, by the time 16, 17, all Jewish? That was my big question. So one of the reasons, because I kept getting beaten up every time I hanged out with the non-Jews. They smelt me. They knew I was a Yid. And they beat me. And that made me question who these people are and why am I getting beaten up every time I'm with them. So I started choosing Jewish crew. And then even when I had certain difficult moments with Jews, it was often ones who were not so Jewish who were the ones who made it difficult.
Right.
But I have to say, I did have discussions with Jews also. That's not always the truth.
It's different.
It's different. I wasn't getting a fist in the face.
They're not violent people.
Yeah, generally not. No.
It's not in our DNA.
No, it's not.
Text one of my mentors. Text my wife.
It's all good. Anyway, this is big chizuk because we realize there's a certain point, and I experienced this in my own life of Mesiras Nefesh, that we have ability to be Mesiras Nefesh for Hashem, no matter what, no matter where we're holding in life.
Yeah, Mama.
And we're put into those extreme situations. We will wake up. Obviously, the idea is to live with Mesiras Nefesh, not wait for the Goyim to come want to shecht us.
Right. Right, it's like a famous saying. It's easy to die al Kiddush Hashem, but can you live al Kiddush Hashem?
Yeah, and that's actually, who used to say it? Noach Weinberg from Torah. That was one of his big points to Am Yisrael. Like, we need to live in Mesiras Nefesh.
Right.
Chabad definitely b'kayim it, and that's why we're learning it here now. And what happens? What does that mean?
Surely I'm not inferior. It says
I'm not inferior to him, but what does it mean really? Anochi mimenu. It's much deeper than the translation.
I'm not
the true I.
Yeah.
The true I, the godly I. What's Anochi? Anochi is Rosh Tevis. Ani nafshi kasavis yahavis. Hashem wrote down my soul and I gave it to you. That's the Torah. That's a Gemara in Shabbos. That Hashem gave my soul to you. A true Anochi Hashem Anakecha.
Right.
That's the Pneumius of Am Yisrael.
It's a beautiful tefillah right now. I wanna save it.
Yeah. So we're one with
it
Hashem.
out.
Our soul is one with Hashem. Hashem gave us his essence and gave it to us.
Right.
So when we tune into that Anochi, I will not ever fall from that. That's what
It's
it's all about. Once again, this is very deep psychology. Who do you identify as?
Right.
It's like that whole. We mentioned him a few times. What's his name? The guy I keep mentioning. He's very clever with this concept. He's got a funny name. Like anyway, Mina Shemaim, I forgot his name. But my friend's very into his. He has the one Power of One. All his books.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, yeah. So he's got a whole thing, and it's based on modern day understanding of cognitive therapy and other stuff of being able to identify with your true self and not with, and in the 12 steps as well, it's about how you identify yourself. So if you identify yourself as an addict, that's a certain level to be able to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
But as a yid, you know that even you're above the addiction, you're an neshama. That you're never a slave to anything. You're only over Hashem. That's it. That's Panemius. So this guy is having a hard time. Yeah, why? Because what happens? Comes the BORUCH. Yeah, Bavadei Elish Niknas BORUCH Nidmaloi. So suddenly this BORUCH comes and starts to make imaginations. Shaveza Denu Bihiduso. Yeah. It will not affect his Jewishness, his soul will not be severed from Hashem. It's okay, nishkefelech, as you say. Yeah, you see where we are?
Yeah, I'm just curious where this ends.
Yeah, we'll get to the dot in a minute. It's not
the
far.
gum.
Yeah, before we get to the gum, we're holding here. Yeah, so there's going to be moments. There's going to be moments we're going to have BORUCH. You can say it's not going to take me away from my Yiddishkeit. So my soul's not going to get separated from Am Yisrael and what's happening at those moments. He starts to forget his love for Hashem. It comes more hidden.
Right.
We meet people like this all the time. Like there's the Yidden. I'm sure when you go back to America, it's more common. They're Yidden, but they're not like awake. Like Hashem loves me or whatever, but I've got things to do. I've got to make money. I've got things to do. That kind of mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, mama.
Which is hidden heart. But yeah, it's a BORUCH. It's not MS, because MS is you're serving Hashem all the time. But as for me, and this is the Tanya writing this, and for all of us, I have no desire to be such a fool. To what? To deny the truth.
Wow.
So you're right. This whole thing is just one big tefillah in a way.
Big tefillah here.
Yeah. So it starts off, I will not be wicked even for a moment. From the one God. And it goes all the way down to this point here.
I don't know where that tefillah ends. Masha came.
I think it's Emes. Right, Emes. I think we're with the last word.
That's it, his last
yeah,
word.
That's the last word.
Wow.
The tefillah, it's got the two
perfect timing to end, because I gotta...
Yeah, no, but all I'm saying is, just to come into this Nakuda, is to really realize that being Emes, truthful in our Avodas Hashem, is the key to constantly assess, am I listening to the BORUCH or am I listening to my Nefesh Elokus? And the Nefesh Elokus, I identify myself with the Nefesh Elokus, and this Avos Mysteris, this hidden love, should be awakened. Not just in davening, but I should try to awaken it throughout the day.
Yeah.
So that I can demonstrate my love for Hashem constantly. And that's, Purim is a time, I don't know if you feel it, but Purim you feel like the whole day is just awake.
Right.
Like your neshama's awake. Even when you're drinking, even when you're with your friends, it's a special gift where suddenly you experience what it's like to be a shtickle tzaddik, like all the time in a state of awakeness, or a haman, you hate evil, you're in a state of awakeness. You don't want this workshtus. And alcohol, if that's your panemius, the Nicholas sod, so Nicholas yain, the sod, the yain will just bring out the panemius that your sod, your neshama. Yeah, you should take a picture of that tefillah. It's worth it. It begins. You can make it all. Yeah, that's it.
Starts before MS.
When it starts. I will not be wicked even for a moment. Is that where it begins? Eina Rotz Eliyahu Masha, that's it. That's where it begins.
Right.
Got two things there, down to the dot. MS.
The libo, he says it to his heart.
Yeah. That's a beautiful feeling, because that's the reality. You have these two voices in your heart.
And here he says the one thing is like, for the truth of the matter is that sin does not separate a man from Hashem.
Okay.
And that one does have a natural love for God that dictates the performance of mitzvah. These truths to say so I do not wish to deny.
Yeah.
Meaning it's like the other way around. Meaning we keep thinking that when we do an Aveira, it makes us separate from Hashem. When in hindsight, like our innate insides, right? The insides, who we are, our etzem is to be connected to Hashem, to want to do the mitzvahs. And sometimes we forget that. It's almost like...
But that's b'di'evid.
It's going even ahead.
Yeah, that's b'di'evid. L'chachila, the tefillah here is, I don't even want to forget that for a moment.
Right, no,
that's the whole Indian of a Beinoni.
Right.
He doesn't want to ever be into the status of a Rasha.
No, but you can
always
get to
wants
that
to do
by
Ratzon
working
Hashem.
backwards, meaning...
Yeah, you can work it b'di'evid,
Which we think to ourselves,
often,
wow.
well, that's the Balat Tshuva more voda,
Right.
constantly doing Tshuva after the fact. You don't l'chachila go into it, but you fall by accident, and now you do Tshuva. But the l'chachila approach is this tefillah of the Balat Tanya of constantly wanting to be a Beinoni. Now I don't want to even fall because I don't want to give into that ruchshtus.
Right.
I want to be in the place of emes, and emes of my Creator, that Hashem Achad, that Hashem is one.
I want to really think about
in
this
any way.
tefillah. I'm going to sit down today and think about it.
Yeah.
I'll come up with something.
And maybe about Friday, if we can squeeze in a little session before Purim.
Quick session maybe.
If you make it back a lot,
Maybe
like in one.
Maybe we'll do it in the therapist's office downstairs.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Some therapy.
Try to go out with my wife now, maybe for a little bit.
Yeah, you got to samecha before you leave.
Before I leave,
That's the key to bracha.
That's the key to bracha. Tell the wife.
My wife's Yom Yeledet today. She's Zion Adar.
What?
Today's Zion Adar. It's my wife's Yom Yeledet.
Right, today's Zion Adar.
It's a holy day.
I was trying to do a shindig with her Joey tonight, but it was...
Yeah. I was waiting for you to tell me about that. I thought either he forgot or he didn't do it.
No, because I'm leaving tomorrow morning, and I was going to host it in my house. And,
you can do it now. You know what another YITZCHAK's coming up?
Yeah.
No Meli Melech.
When's that?
Chaf Aleph. That's a week after Purim, so that might be when next. No Meli Melech's also a Saturday. And it might give you more time as well to get ready for it. Yes, Simchas Purim, brother. Hazak Yamatz and Yom Le'elet Samech to Moshe Rabbeinu and to Masha Rebbetzin. My wife's Masha, Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu. Masha.
I'll see you later.
Mr. Hashem, have a safe trip. L'siyah tova.
Like Moshe to the next
Take the Torah with you.
Moshe
Yes, Moshe Chaim. I'm Moshe. All the Moshes. Zayg L'siyah tova. Gewalt. It was obviously important. What did you say in the shir, Rabbi?
Oh no, I can't do this. I can't put it on the share.
Say. What did you just say now? You just inspired of Shlomo.
Yeah, we can pull it off the recording.
All right, fine. Send it to me.